Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 9th, 2025 Jupiter Inlet Colony Town Council meeting. Got a couple of items on the agenda, but one of the first items is we're going to have a presentation by Sergeant Robert Beckham on the town's hurricane preparedness and the efforts that the staff has undertaken over the past probably 18 months here getting ready for this. So Sergeant Beckham, I'll give you the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a little bit about me. Bob Beckman, I'm with Jupiter Inlet Colony Police Department now for just about 7 years. Before that, I was a Deputy Sheriff Lieutenant in Nassau County, New York for 24 years. My last 9 years assigned to emergency management for the Sheriff's Office and then for the county's emergency management department. Until I retired in 2010. I participated in many disasters, including the World Trade Center response, nor'easters, water supply contaminations, and a couple of tornadoes. When I retired, I went to work for FEMA Region 2 in Manhattan, the All Hazards Emergency Response Plan. While there, I was recruited by Barnard College in Manhattan as the first Director of Emergency Management and Fire Safety from college. I developed the college's emergency program, emergency management program, and later response to the Hurricane Sandy, among other things. 8 years ago, I retired again and moved to Florida. So much for retiring. I came to work part-time at JEC. About 2 years ago, I went full-time west of town. And shortly thereafter, the chief made me the emergency manager for the town. I have a bachelor's degree in human services emergency management. I attained my certification as an emergency manager up in New York, and I'm working towards that here in Florida now. I'm here to present to you our efforts in planning, preparedness, and response. Preparation. Planning is not just a piece of paper, but the process of building relationships and capabilities. That's why our emergency preparedness planning is in concert with the Palm Beach County plan and our surrounding jurisdictions plans. We have built strong relationships with Palm Beach County, the North Counties Consortium, and especially our surrounding jurisdictions, including the Village of DeQuesta's administration, fire and police departments, and Jupiter's police department and administration. It's critical during any disaster or emergency to have these relationships. We review and update our unusual occurrences and disaster response operational plan and regularly discuss planning, operations, and response with DeQuesta and Jupiter. We are participating right now actually in a virtual preparedness exercise with DeQuesta. We have compiled response and recovery tools such as tow ropes, chains, chainsaws, safety equipment, and other tools to help us take care of the town after an emergency or disaster happens, such as a hurricane. We have bolstered our communications capabilities and public information and developed a robust town alert system. What we do during blue skies, we participate in bi-monthly municipal meetings, local mitigation strategy meetings, and meet with DeQuesta year-round. We review capabilities and check equipment year-round as well. During gray skies, when there is a possible impact to Palm Beach, communication starts with the county, and we start our alerts with you. Calls start depending upon the storm, maybe days before or hours before the storm, even during a blue sky. As the storm intensifies and tracks develop, communications become more frequently, especially if our area may be impacted. We start participating in the county municipal web EOC as well. We check our communications with our service providers such as Waste Management, Tequesta Water, Fire, and other support services and vendors that we rely on. What you do during the blue sky, make a plan. Everyone needs to have a plan, a family plan, a communications plan. Have supplies, sheltering supplies to shelter in place and to go, a go bag to take with you if you have to evacuate. Prepare outside, coconuts, trees, furniture. And I want to thank everybody for the massive response to our recent request to remove coconuts from trees. That was great. Thank you. During gray skies, have a plan, stay or go, depending upon the potential impact. Evacuations, we are in a flood zone. Be prepared. It may be a sunny day, but it may be time to evacuate. It's too late when the wind and the rain hits. Evacuations. Evacuations are coordinated with the surrounding at-risk areas and the county. It's critical if you are told to evacuate that you do so immediately. I can't emphasize that enough. Shelters should be your last resort though. Make plans to be in a safe location with relatives, friends, at a hotel, somewhere other than a shelter. That's really the last resort. The county controls all those shelters and determines what shelters open and when. They have special needs shelters. They even have an animal shelter. The detailed information for these things are on the county on our town website, links to the county's websites. The best plan is other than a shelter. Do not expect our first responders to come out during the height of the storm. It is just as dangerous for the first responders as it is for all of us. What we do together. Before the storm, I can't say it enough, we prepare. Prepare, check supplies, check your yard, trees, vessels. Don't forget about your vessels. Have a plan for them too. During the storm, we monitor and participate in communications. We get our alerts out, monitor those alerts, monitor communications and watch for alerts. Evacuate and stay sheltered until you're told to return. Don't come back too early. Do not try and ride the storm out. The town staff may shelter at town hall for minimal impact storms or may shelter at Tequesta EOC, which is a Category 5 operations center. If we evacuate, and we will work with Tequesta in their EOC. We move the town vehicles to higher ground. A pickup truck will have all our response tools in them so we can get back in and start recovering. Such as tow ropes, chainsaws, chains, and whatnot. Providing, of course, that the roads and the bridges are passable. That could be a problem. And, we have to be careful of wires down and flooding as well. Jupiter does have high water vehicle rescue vehicles that can assist us as well. Again, do not expect first responders to come out during the height of the storm. It's just as dangerous for them. And to wrap it up after the storm, it's still an emergency. Staff will respond to emergencies when it is safe to do so. Down wires, flooding may cause additional problems. We will keep you informed and with actionable information about the emergency, and especially when the return. Then the preliminary damage assessment will start. We depend on third-party health to come and assist us with the cleanup of the debris removal in the public right of way. Listen to our communications for information on what and how you can take care of your homeowner debris. We need to work together to restore our town after any event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergeant Beckman. We'll move on to the commission staff reports. Town manager, I noticed you have published a report. Is there anything you'd like to highlight this evening?
Just a couple items. Our budget preparation is underway. We are also almost done with our fiscal year 2023 audit. We are working with the auditors to wrap that up. Some of our residents may have noticed that the entrance along Beach Road outside of the town's boundaries has become a little overgrown. It's been discovered that the town has been paying for this, even though it is outside of our jurisdiction. I've been working with the Beach Road Association as well as the administration of Tequesta and the county to determine who is responsible for it. What we know is the town of Jupiter Inlet Colony is not responsible for it, and that the ball's in everyone else's court to figure that out. I have put them in touch with Mr. Mancuso, who had been taking care of it for us, so it might be a little difficult, but they need to take care of it. And I'll just wrap up with my annual review is due at the August meeting. Per my employment agreement, it must be done in public. So at the July meeting, during my report, if we could have a brief discussion on how you would like to proceed with that, that would be very helpful. And finally, you have the financials to date through, April 30th, 2025 in your backup. We are at 58% of the year and we have had 49% of our expenses. We are ahead on revenue, including both our ad valorem and our building permit revenue. We are on track to stay within budget and still put away in excess of 400,000 in our reserve. And hopefully nothing happens to change that in the next couple of months. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does the commission have any questions of the town manager? Just one quick one, the transition from Bill Whiteford's shop to the new planning, that's fine, there's no
It's
issues.
going great. Everyone's working together.
Good, okay, I assume there's no town clerk report? Okay, and Chief, do you have anything you'd like to bring to our attention?
Mayor, Mayor and Commission, just wanted to report, month, we had 10,487 patrols in the community. Did have, some attempted criminal activity. A couple of weeks ago, a vehicle came in that had a stolen tag on it that had not been reported yet, so it didn't hit the license plate readers. It tried to open up a vehicle in a driveway and was unsuccessful. Our investigation had revealed to the camera of a residence close by the vehicle, the tag, and all that information. So that's under investigation. We also have had several other attempted scams this past month. So be on guard. Yeah, for thing that has anything to do with giving up your credit card information, any other personal information, banking or whatever. So just please, everybody stay on alert. Thank you.
Any questions of the chief? Anybody? Okay. Okay. Town attorney, do you have anything you want to report tonight?
Just one thing, and you may have done it, but for the commissioners, your financial disclosure reports due by the end of the month. So if you haven't done it, you need to do it. Good news is you don't need to do a Form 6. You can do a Form 1. That's all I know.
And can we turn that into Heidi, or do we do it right electronically, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's done online and it just gets submitted.
Perfect. Any commission reports?
I do.
Commissioner Roger?
I attended the North County League of Cities meeting. And just so everyone knows, in July, they're gonna be closing down some railroad track crossings on North Lake Boulevard. I know it doesn't affect us, but just to keep an eye on it if you happen to be working down that way or traveling, that there will be some delays in that area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I do.
Commissioner Schuler?
Friday and Saturday, I spent 2 days in an institute put on by the Florida League of Cities. It was for elected municipal officials. And during that time, very worthwhile. Appreciate the opportunity to go down there. And talking about, it was a civics lesson. The four main areas were about civics, on how municipal government works with counties and the state and federal. different council techniques to be effective on the council, budgeting, and then navigating governance, very worthwhile time. And I'd just like to say, on behalf of definitely myself, I'd like to thank both Jackie and our town manager for the role that they're playing in conducting the code enforcement, and I'd like to thank everybody in the town that's been so accommodating and trying to bring Jupiter and Lake Colony up to the standards that it should be.
Okay, I have nothing, so we'll go to, I have two public comment cards. So are there any other individuals that want to provide public comment? And for clarification purposes, we're requesting public comment now on item 7 or not? So if you want to speak on item 7, it's the last item on the agenda, fill out a card, give it to me, I will call your name.
We also have one member in the audience in the chat who would like to
Okay.
unmute.
We'll get to them in a second. So the first person I have here is Russell. Russell, when you approach the podium, I'd appreciate it for everybody to just say your name, your address, and your 3 minutes will start.
Okay, did you guys find that squelch on the microphone was different if you were away from the mic, chief? Did it make any difference when you were speaking up here? No, okay, good. So I won't let that be what I do. Russell Bourne, my wife and I live at 35 Ocean Drive. So number 7, I don't really know what the vote is going to be by the commission, but I thought I could just say 1 or 2 things. Chip is saying, speak up. All right. So, if I were in middle school and I was, did it not turn on? Okay, okay, now we have the voice and hopefully we won't get the squelch. If I were in middle school and I'd been appointed to be a safety patrol guard, most of us in here are old enough to know that we used to do that. And we should think that was quite an honor, that the school would esteem us in such a way, regard us in such a way that they would let us lead the line or supervise the people at the bus getting on and off, whatever. It was a big deal. And you got to wear a badge and badge. It was really kind of fun. And it was important. And if I had stolen something from the library as a safety patrol officer and I was discovered, do you suppose that I would have lost some of the esteem of the faculty that let me get appointed to that position? There would be no loss because the book would be returned. But there would be some loss in the esteem probably that people would hold me, which might mean that I couldn't do the job because I wouldn't have the respect of the other students. And it might even mean that I shouldn't deserve to have the job any longer. That's all.
Thank you, Russell. The
You're
second item, our second person is Chip Block. Chip.
Former Mayor Commissioner Chip Block, 101 Lighthouse Drive, Jupiter and Lake Colony. I want to provide background facts concerning item 7 on tonight's agenda. In 2022, the commission included Mayor Comerford, Commissioners Busto, Rosner, and Hines, and myself as vice mayor. Neither Commissioners Busto, Hines, nor I were informed about the action under review that was taken by Mayor Comerford and Commissioner Rosner. Nor was there any public airing of this action, neither in a regular commission meeting nor in a budget meeting, when the expenditure would have had to have been approved by vote of the commission. When we installed the commission, we raise our hand and take an oath to abide by the laws of the U.S. government, state of Florida, and the town. This action was done in secret and in violation of Article 30, Section 15 of the town charter in effect at that time. The action also violated the government and sunshine laws of the state of Florida, which guarantee transparency to the public. Importantly, it violated the longstanding tradition of voluntary, uncompensated service to the town by its elected officials. That 56-year-old tradition builds trust in our officials. It is a valued element of the town's governance and of the culture of Jupiter Inlet Colony. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we have somebody online, is that correct? So I don't, do we know who it is?
Yes. Ed Hotsavar.
Okay.
Yep, Mayor, this is Ed Hosevar.
Go ahead, Ed.
Can everyone hear me all right? Very good. This is Ed Hosevar. I reside at 121 Lighthouse Drive, and I was a former commissioner and mayor for Jupiter Inlet Colony. I served from the middle of 2023 through March of this year, both as a commissioner initially and then as mayor. During my time in office, I was aware that as an elected official, it was a volunteer position, and that as a volunteer, we weren't entitled to any compensation or benefits from the town. During that time, I was not aware that any other commissioner or elected official had received any benefits, and I wasn't offered any of those benefits either. So just a statement of facts. That's all I had.
Thank you, Ed. And I'm gonna give the public in attendance here one more chance. If you want to speak regarding item 7, this will be your only opportunity is to speak on that item. So you will not be afforded an opportunity during the hearing on number 7 to speak. So seeing none, I'm gonna move forward.
Point of order, Commissioner. I represent her as her attorney, but there's been no set of rules distributed, I'm just speaking for my record. There's been no set of rules or procedure or any kind of understanding concerning due process. So with that said, I hate to interrupt, but that's why I'm interrupting at this stage, because until there's some understanding of when her attorney is gonna be able to address, make preliminary argument, opening argument, closing argument, I'm speaking at this time before the closure of public comment. But if that's gonna be reserved and there's gonna be a ruling on that now, I'm happy to sit back down and wait.
No, the comment was not directed to you.
Sure,
It was-
yeah, but
It was the public.
there's been nothing public distributed about the role of the attorney, that's why.
Right, now you'll have a full chance to participate.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's move on. Let's do the consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes 4-0. New business, this will be afforded some comments from the public, which is an amendment to an amended and restated interlocal agreement between Palm Beach County and the town of Jupiter Inlet Colony for public safety communications. Heidi, does Chief want to address this, or do you want to? Basically, this allows us to ride on their system in times of emergency.
Sergeant Cummings can give a very brief overview.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission, Sergeant Jim Cummings from the Inland Police Department. The interlocal agreement is with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and Palm Beach County, affording us the opportunity to speak with them on a simulcast channel in the event they would come in. Need us, we'd be able to talk to them, they'd be able to speak with us as well on the same channel. It won't cost the town any money. The equipment that we currently have will be operable in those conditions. We won't require anything further.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I turn to the commission. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement.
Okay, motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes 4-0. Thank you. Next item is, again, if this is gonna be, this is number 6B, extension of mutual aid agreement for the hurricane disaster debris removal, reduction and disposal between town of Jupiter Inlet Colony and Phillips of Jordan. This was something that was previously executed and is expired earlier, or actually last month, so we're just re-executing the same agreement that we had for the past 2 years or so.
Correct. It's an agreement that's in place with SWA, Solid Waste Authority. We have an extension of that, and they will do our debris pickup of the public areas after an event.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, is there any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I turn to the commission. If somebody would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to the extension of the mutual aid agreement for hurricane disaster debris removal.
Okay, motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Oh. All right, so let's get on to number 7. Bill, I'm gonna kind of defer to you. The counselor who's representing Commissioner Rosner was looking for some rules in terms of how we're going to conduct the hearing tonight. Maybe for the audience online and in person, perhaps you can kind of just briefly lay out how the hearing is going to go, what the role of the commission is tonight, and we'll start there.
You have one moment. If we could have about 3 minutes for the attorneys.
Motion for recess?
Yes.
Do I have a motion for recess?
Make a motion that we recess.
Is it seconded? Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Let us have a moment.
Yep, no problem. Reconvene? Reconvene. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to reconvene, okay, seconded by Mr. Muir, okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you for everyone's patience. We certainly appreciate that. There's, some matters of, I guess, law and procedure that need to be worked out. I'm gonna defer to our town attorney, to let him inform the commission and members of public of where we are.
Okay, basically, let's go back to the procedure that we're to follow. This would be a quasi judicial hearing. The town would have the burden of proving, if there's a charter violation or not, or a violation of town code. There's an opportunity to cross-examine witnesses and of course, Commissioner Rosner can present her own case, she can testify, and they can present whatever they would like to. In the meantime, though, the attorneys have been talking, and I'm gonna introduce Glenn Torcivia here, who's a longtime town and county attorney. And he could tell you a little bit about himself, but the idea of what the attorneys were speaking of is that the facts really are not in dispute. It seems that, I mean, there's no question that the insurance coverage was provided and reimbursed, I would say. And I'll ask Mr. Sabatini to correct me if I'm wrong, but not a dispute on that. What there is a dispute about between the attorneys is the events, the insurance was obtained under the old charter, timing wise. And the question legally is, does the new charter preclude or give the town an opportunity or even a legal ability to have someone forfeit their office, given the events happened under the old charter before the new charter was adopted? Because the insurance benefits stopped in January of 2024. The new charter came in March. And so we have that legal issue. And let Glenn comment maybe if he has anything to say on that.
I'm again Glenn Torcivia, and I've met several of you usually at those ethics trainings, which I've had the pleasure of doing for a couple of years, several years actually. So again, you have an unusual proceeding tonight, and as Bill was explaining, the lawyers have met, and pretty much the facts aren't really in dispute. And when you convene the hearing, and I can read into the record what the facts are, and as Bill said, there was, coverage provided for the new charter, it was reimbursed. And whether there's any additional testimony anybody wants to give to add to the basic facts, the reasons why insurance was provided, the reason why it was not turned down, whatever other facts they may want to do, they can still add those facts. But basically, by that agreement, you shorten the hearing a lot, because otherwise you have to put into evidence all these documents and have testimony about all that. So it should, save about an hour of time. I think everybody seems to know what the facts are. Then the question becomes the legal issue, which I think the lawyers should be allowed to present their positions as to whether or not an act that occurred prior to a new charter can be enforced under an old charter, under this new charter rather. And your new charter pretty clearly says that the commission shall be the sole judge of the qualifications of the members. So I tend to lean towards, it's really your ultimate decision. You're clearly the fact finder. You're gonna determine what the facts were and then whether the penalty should apply. And this narrow legal issue of whether or not it should apply, I'll say retroactively, but to acts that took place before that, could be something that you decide, or could be something that you defer and ask the lawyers to put something in writing and have a decision. Either I could render it or you would render it after you receive their legal arguments. You don't have to do any of those things. Those are just different options.
Right, and really fundamentally, there's only one way to determine whether or not, or does the old charter apply or does the new charter apply? And there's one pathway to that, right? and that's to go, they'll file an injunction tomorrow and they'll get it in front of a court. The court will argue our case, they'll argue their case in front of the court, and the court will make a decision, presumably, as to whether or not the old charter applies and the new charter applies, right?
Ultimately, that's a real good possibility. The other option, and I don't wanna steal the thunder of either of the lawyers. Sure. But another option you will hear, I think from Serafini, is the Commission on Ethics allow them to rule on this, and then you just simply adopt their decision. But again, you have that authority under the charter. You can do that. You don't
Yeah, if
have
we were to do that, that would subjugate our authority in some ways, right? We're deferring our authority to an outside party. And that's not consistent with what the charter says today. So we would be taking the easy way out, I think, if we did that. And go, please continue, I'm sorry.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, the question is, if you want to proceed at this point, my suggestion would be to, just read into the record what the stipulated facts are. Let the ones make their opening statements, bring any additional evidence that they might have. Or testimony that they might want to elicit beyond the stipulated
Okay,
facts.
one last question from me, and that is, you made the comment whereby almost kind of a deferral here, let the attorneys work out what, some legal theory around what applies. I fundamentally have a little bit of an issue with that, because I don't think you're gonna agree. I mean, I just don't think you three are gonna get in a room, or you four, whoever attorneys are involved here, are gonna really come to a conclusion on that issue. I think it's gonna have to be a judge, is my guess. I don't see the three of you coming to, and I'll defer to my fellow commissioners here in terms of what they're thinking in terms of what you would like to accomplish tonight. Really, it's deferment, let the attorneys work it out. Wait, as part of that on the Commission of Ethics to rule. Or three, we kind of move forward tonight, we adjudicate this case tonight and be done with it. And let the cards fall where they fall, let them go to court, let the Commission on Ethics do their thing, but we as a commission have acted, we've acted with, I think, I'll let everyone else, determine where they want to go with it, but I think we have the ability to act tonight.
Appropriate to ask a question?
Yeah, please.
We know in the old, should know, the old prohibit the actions that were taken in the old charter.
It prohibited compensation or salary, yes. Yes, it did. But the legal question becomes, can the new charter with its forfeiture of office provisions apply to the events that happened before March of 2004?
Did the old charter have that as a remedy?
The old charter had a removal from office provision that is different. It requires different findings and a little more formal hearing, but there is a provision in the old charter about removal of commissioners from office. But I mean, to keep in mind, the old charter is now repealed. When the new charter was voted on in March of 2024, the old charter is repealed.
My question is, were the two people that were involved, they were working under the old charter, and the old charter specifically said that no benefits were allowed. Compensation benefits were
Yes,
allowed.
I mean, it has that language.
That's not any different than the new charter.
Well, the new charter has slightly different provisions. Certainly the new charter has a code of ethics provision that says you shall not use your office for private benefit, for instance, which you could say is the same sort of thing. But the events that took place happened before the new charter became law.
Right.
Any other questions? So I'm gonna try to get consensus here in terms of the direction you would like to head tonight.
Yeah, if I could just,
When I'm done, sure. I think I'd like to know where everybody's at. Do you want to proceed tonight with this case, yes or no? Or do you want to defer and give time to the attorneys to work something out? Not sure what that is. Or and that deferment can be 60 days, it could be 90 days, I'm not really sure. But I need some general consensus. I need to hear from you all what you would like to do tonight. Because I can't make the decision myself.
My position is to continue forward.
Okay.
Okay, come on, they've given their.
Excuse me, when I'm done, you can have a time. Sit down.
Completely out of line.
You're on the line.
No,
This is a, sounds to me like it's a legal issue, that I would like to move forward tonight. My gut feeling is that we need to allow the legal side of it play itself out. That, even though the facts are the same and it was wrong before for the old charter and it's wrong, but there is this legal issue.
And I mean, I guess Commissioner Rosner, you're a commissioner, you still have a say in this.
It needs to go the legal route. Thank you.
So you be moving forward? Correct. You say wait?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Counselor, you had something to say?
Yes, thank you very much. I think, first of all, Anthony Sabatini, I represent Commissioner Roswell, we moved this just slightly so I can not hide. First of all, you're doing something very serious here. It's very unusual. Most cities don't have this provision in their charter. It's not bad that you have it, but it should be taken very seriously. When you remove somebody, call somebody corrupt, remove them from office, usually it's something that takes place in what looks like a trial, usually like 7 days. When I was in the state legislature, we removed Chris Israel, the sheriff of Broward, from office. We waited 9 months. I think we gave him a 2-week trial, not 2 hours. First, let me just say, you have a host of legal questions that you should seek outside counsel. Let me just correct, I think your understanding, Mayor. I think you said, we're gonna sit back in a room, hammer out a decision, and then ask you guys to adopt it. That's not what I was asking for. What I'm asking for, you need to get truly objective third-party legal advice who's gonna come look at your charter and make a legal determination, uninfluenced by us. Maybe we could submit arguments, but they would then proffer their own legal opinion. And what I would also argue is that's actually already taking place because you are lucky enough to live in a county that has your own local commission on ethics. Now, Commissioner Rosner and me, we want the answer to what the Commission on Ethics has to say. We went and did an interview with the Commission on Ethics this week. They're moving forward with their investigator. And so you would be duplicating efforts immensely by, I would argue, competing with the Commission on Ethics to try to come up with a bunch of fact and legal conclusions that you have free of charge being done already in this county at the local level. Now, let me speak very specifically about the legal issue, the host of legal issues I'm talking about. Number one, and again, just to kind of correct the record, it's not just old charter versus new charter. It's what's the legal rubric you should apply to the behavior that took place before a new charter. Now, based on public comment, there's obviously enormous amount of miscommunication about what happened because somebody said something along the words of benefits. Well, guess what? Benefits not in the state, it's not in the city charter. It's not in your ordinances. Benefit is not the legal question here of inquiry. The legal question of inquiry is compensation. And I would just quote to you a very basic definition of compensation. I know some would be eager to define it differently, but guess what? This is, again, the state of Florida. We use textualism. We use basic common understanding of words. And when you're talking about guilt and punishment, they should be and must be under Florida law narrowly construed under the rule of lenity, not widely and broadly construed. And compensation means something, typically money, awarded to someone as recompense for a loss or injury or suffering. The action of awarding somebody the money received by an employee as salary or wages, something that counterbalances. And so purchasing, again, factually undisputed, a life insurance policy, although not common here, it is standard practice in about 99% of cities in the state of Florida, out of the 411 cities, is not compensation. It's not legal compensation. You're never gonna find a judge in the state of Florida who's gonna equate that to compensation. She's already testified again to the Commission on Ethics. She didn't see this compensation. You're never gonna have evidence of somebody say that was compensation. You know, evidence being presented before this body that that was compensation. And so getting back to the charter provision, getting into this tonight, I think the understanding of some people was that a violation of the charter in and of itself was grounds for removal. Great, that's in the new charter. But because, and I've spoken to the attorneys, no facts that were being planned and being shown here tonight or to the Commission on Ethics were going to show that any of the behavior occurred during or after the new charter. You can't take that new language about a charter violation and put it back on acts that occurred before the creation of the charter. It would violate Article 1, Section 10 of the Florida Constitution, which, to send everybody back to high school history class or law school for a minute, bans ex post facto laws. You can't have a law today that goes back, reaches back into past events and says that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal. That's what the founding fathers were against, obviously. So what does it leave you with? If you did want to adjudicate this under the old charter, a much more specific, more severe, more legally narrow standard of punishment, which is you'd have to find misfeasance or malfeasance. Malfeasance means that you did a criminal act, which of course she didn't. I don't think anybody's saying she broke a criminal law, so that's out the window. So you'd have to find misfeasance. Again, this is my opinion. You guys should really get a legal memo and a neutral third party to proper a group of legal decisions that you guys can then adopt at a future hearing. But misfeasance means you did a legal act, but you did it in a legal corrupt way. Like, for example, if a commissioner was trying to get their company to have an insurance contract with the city and they voted on it without disclosing, that would be an example of misfeasance. And there's case law on that. But I don't think what's being alleged against Ms. Rosner here, Commissioner Rosner, is anything close to that. But again, the fact that you have these two dueling legal standards from two separate charters going into this, and we're supposed to make a last minute factual decision literally moments before you make a very, very serious decision, I think is obviously unwarranted. But what I would argue is for those who would like to see in the words they use, action, decisive action done tonight. Again, I would argue that you're duplicating the efforts of the Commission on Ethics, which already has interviews, already has fact finding. It's already moving forward. They've already done a legal sufficiency letter. It's all public documents. Anybody here can go and follow the case. Duplicating those efforts are unnecessary. If you TP, temporarily postpone, it's not to say that you're giving up or quitting inquiring about this important matter of concern in the community. It's saying that you can wait for the expert government body in your community to do its investigation before you make your own legal decision. And of course, by that point, you would have had a written legal document that spells out the legal standards that this fact-finding body should and would apply. You'll be in a much, much more sound legal position going into that. And of course, that's what we would request. Now, if you decide not to, because for whatever independent reasons, we have a host of other legal arguments to make, but this preliminary legal question about whether you should postpone and gain a legal memo, again, from a third party, Mayor, not us sitting back and then arguing and then we end up in the middle, a third party who's neutral, who doesn't have a dog in the fight, giving you his expert legal opinion is I think the best method. I think the second best method is what the mayor mentioned, which is that you could file for declaratory judgment. You could actually file a lawsuit with this set of facts and ask a judge to say, could this person be found guilty under this legal standard? And I think a judge would probably do a good job. But I also think a third option, again, I think it's not a bad option either, is you get a free legal advisory opinion from the Palm Beach Commission on Ethics. They will, again, tax-free, no charge to the city, draft you within 7 or 8 days a sound legal memo based on a stipulated set of facts of what they think was the violation. But this argument on the charter is very, very important because, again, it's two different legal standards. And then just not to get too far off course here from the decision that's in front of you, but you're really dealing with two different things. The Commission on Ethics is looking to see, was this a misuse of office? You guys are looking to see, was there misfeasance such that you have the authority to forfeit the office? But the Commission on Ethics is going, its fact finding itself is going to aid and help your government body coming to the decision you are going into. Again, free of charge with expert legal advice. I would ask them to temporarily postpone, revisit this as the Commission on Ethics moves forward. And of course, anybody here is allowed to submit public comment, support evidence. I heard comments in the public hearing, public comment that talked about standards in the city before this commission was impaneled. And guess what? They could submit that to the Commission on Ethics right now and aid them in their inquiries. There's no reason to be hasty about it because they're already moving forward on the case. I did see hands with the commission, with the mayor's permission. I'd be happy to address legal concerns from the audience. If that's disallowed, that's fine too. I've reserved some comments to rebut any counter argument, please.
Yeah, we're not gonna have dialogue, sure, between public and you. All right, so are you through?
Yes.
So the commission's had the opportunity to listen to Commissioner Rosner's counsel. Any change, any difference of opinion here? Okay, I guess I'm looking for some, if you want to make a motion for deferral, why don't you go ahead and make that motion for deferral?
Yep, based on this new information that we're hearing tonight about the controversy between the old charter and the new charter. And then, in the old charter, did it talk about benefits? Or did it just talk about compensation? So those are the rules that they were playing by at that time. And I don't know the answer to those questions right now. So based on that uncertainty, I would say that we should defer.
Okay, so you're making a motion to defer, how long of a time frame are you looking?
A short amount of time, that's usually.
Do you want to help me define that? Bill, what do you want to do? You want to do an abundance of caution here? Nothing moves fast with lawyers. You 60 days, 45 days?
I would say 60 days,
Okay.
and whether, and you can direct me if you want to get an independent decision on the legal issue, or I think after there's some more research done, either Glenn or myself would be in a lot better position to give you advice on whether we think it's a problem or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there, from what I've heard, there's a motion for deferral of this matter for a period not to exceed 60 days on, been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Can I get a vote? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes for 60-day deferral. 3-1. And before we adjourn, I guess we should probably give you some direction on third party or no third party independent analysis. I trust that our counselor here tonight that we brought in could provide some of that or not.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. What I would suggest, and, briefly spoke to both lawyers before we started, and I heard the presentation, maybe give them both 30 days to submit brief to me. As if I was the hearing officer.
Yes.
And signed some brief. And I would ask on the record, do either side have an objection to me serving as the independent lawyer?
No objection.
Okay, so if they get me their response in 30 days, then I will have you an opinion before that 60 days.
Perfect. I think that works. 30 days is enough time?
Yes.
No, not right now.
Yes.
30 days, you'll have 30 days, okay. So Bill, is that accurate for, is that good for you?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so you've got that direction.
Just for clarity, from an agenda management standpoint, this would be the expectation, we would be back here August 11th to publicly discuss this.
No later.
That is
I
the
would make sure,
regular.
I want to make sure it's no later than August 11th, so that doesn't preclude us from doing, and doesn't preclude us from doing it and having a special meeting, I guess, earlier if we need to, if it overlaps with like something related to our budget hearings or something like that.
Okay, I'll confer with, if I can jump in, I'm conferring with the attorneys as well, because our charter says it has to be at a regular scheduled meeting.
Okay, okay. Okay, I'm gonna look for a motion.
Excuse me,
Oh,
I have a question.
there's no public comment right now. Thank you. So is there?
The Sharon.
Wait a minute. Sharon who? Wait a minute, she's not here. I thought she wasn't here.
She's on the.
Listening on the phone.
Well, no. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion, make the meetings adjourned for tonight. Thank you. So. Right.